Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha. Prayer. Yatah sarvani bhutani pratibhanti sthitani cha yatraivo pashmam yanti tasmai satyatmane namaha. Salutation to that reality in which all the elements and all the animate and inanimate beings shine as if they have an independent existence and in which they exist for a time and into which they merge. ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा नेयं दृष्टा दर्शन दृश्यभुः कर्ता हेतु क्रिया यस्मद् तस्मै ज्ञाप्त्यात्मने नमः. Salutations to that consciousness, which is the source of the apparently distinct threefold division of knower, knowledge, and known, seer, sight, and seen, doer, doing, and deed. स्फुरन्ति शिखरायस्मद् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः. Salutations to that bliss absolute, the ocean of bliss, which is the life of all beings, whose happiness and unfoldment is derived from the shower of spray from that ocean of bliss. Okay, so today is the second last session of this series. What should we do?
By the way, Prabhaji, just a feedback. We got a lot of good feedback for the drawings you made it. People who attend the session and the whoever watch recordings, they really liked it.
Okay, so you like the third grade drawing skills? That is what you mean? Okay.
Right? Presentation skills.
Okay. Okay, let's see that, right? Okay, so okay, I'm happy that it helped. Let's see. So we have two options. We can read the book a little bit more, and my objective was that we should finish the session chapter 4 in this one, right? And then it will leave two more chapters left, fifth and sixth, right? And that we will finish in the next series whenever we are ready. That is one possibility. And I feel that we covered a lot of content in the first 3.5 chapter. If we see, like, we are almost in the middle of the fourth chapter. So what we can do is we can spend these two sessions understanding, questioning some of those concepts and see that if there is any gap in understanding, any confusion, maybe we spend a little bit of time today's session and then we wrap up at a grand finale, remaining part of the fourth chapter in the last session. What do you guys think? I mean, customer satisfaction is most important. So whatever you guys tell, I will follow that. What is the group's preference?
Prabhaji, this is Shobha. You had mentioned that you have not done the other part. We would love to continue. In the past, you have mentioned that you've not gone beyond, but you might want to do that. We would love to continue if that's a possibility.
It will be like we will be continuing. Raj is behind me to finish the book. So we will do that, right? At least this time we made more progress. All the previous sessions we finished up to the third chapter only. This time we entered the fourth chapter. And if you have the book, you can understand, right? That how much is the content in these chapters in just 11 sessions. At least for me, it has been a little challenging. Maybe as we are making more progress, maybe the next series when I will start from beginning, maybe two sessions per chapter will be good enough, right? But we don't know. But we will continue. We will announce another series for remaining of these chapters. Okay. So what do we want to discuss today? There is one comment on the chat. Okay. You can unmute. I like when we read together. Okay. So one vote is to read together. Okay. What else? Oh, Kindle. Okay. Let's see. Any other input? Okay.
We can also discuss, and you said you might clarify some concepts or questions.
Concepts or questions. So, but you need to ask questions first, right? What do you
Yeah.
think? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's do one thing. Is like okay because Monica said first. Let's read at least uh read at least a little bit of that thing, right? And then we will, if time permits, we will do that a little bit more. I'm just trying to choose this section. Okay.
We
Okay.
finished story of Sukra.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
had finished that one, right? But after that, there is a okay. Let me just share this one. There is a part of this. It is so amazing. Let's come to this part of the kingdom. Okay. How many of you have read this? Like we had read this thing, but I had asked everybody to read this thing. The world exists in each jiva and seed state and become manifest like the tree sprouting from the seed. Okay. Can I read it a little bit? Just don't close your eyes. It can be very meditative. Let me read it. The world exists in each jiva in a seed state and becomes manifest like the tree is sprouting from the seed. The world is thus falsely fancied by each individual. The world neither arises nor sets. All this is nothing but the fancy of the deluded mind. Within each one, there is a fancy world. Even as one's dreams are unknown to others, one's world is unknown to others. There are goblins and demigods and demons, all of which are embodiment of delusions. Even if we have come to being, O Rama, out of pure thought force and consider the false to be real, such indeed is the origin of creation in the infinite consciousness. Materiality is not factual, though it is perceived in emptiness. Everyone thus fancies his own world. When this world is realized, the world thus fancied comes to an end. This world exists only in appearance or imagination, and not because one sees the material substances. It is like a long dream or a juggler's trick. It is the post to which the mind elephant is tied. Did you guys reread it? We had read in last to last session. Yeah.
Yes.
We had discussed a little bit also, right? It says that everybody's world is different. You know, the number of people I know in my life, there is slight overlap with some of you, isn't it? There are people in your life I don't even know they are existing. Same thing is the people in my life, many of those you do not even know, isn't it? In fact, your own spouse, your own children, the most close people to us, Their world is very different. Have you ever seen that two people are talking and there is no communication? Why it happens is that their worlds are totally different at that dimension. Have you ever thought about that? People say, oh, this, and one person has a completely different impressions and idea about something. Does it make sense? I'm talking about a very practical level, not a esoteric and or like I think more spiritual level. Just practical level. Do you see that all of us may have a very different impression about the same thing, same person, same event, right? So where does the world exist? It says the world neither arises nor sets. All this is nothing but the fancy of a deluded mind. Have you ever questioned your mind? Have you ever questioned how your perception about people, place, things even change? We have one perception about one person, one event, one thing, and then there is no guarantee that that perception will stay. Have you ever seen it happening? What Gurdev has said, don't be football of others' opinion. Opinion are transient phenomena. They keep changing, isn't it? That is the part of the falsification of this world. If the whatever we see and we hear, if it was truth, it will never change inside us, isn't it? So something to like this is a very practical advice because we a part of us see world as a very solid reality. And Yoga Vasistha keep reminding over and over again after first chapter is that the world exists where? In the mind. The world exists where? In the mind. The whole experience and outcome from this world basically is a function of the mind. My sweet is not your sweet. My sour is not your sour, right? What I experience, only I experience, even though we may go through the same experience. So, where the world exists. And then he says there are goblins, demigods, and demons, all of which are embodiment of delusion. Even so have we come into being, O Rama, out of pure thought force and consider the false to be real. I think earlier it was very difficult to explain, but now have you put the virtual reality glasses? It gives us such a real feeling, right? Have you played those video games where you put the virtual glasses and you just feel that, oh, I'm falling from a tower? I in last session I played some videos. So you can just search for virtual reality videos on YouTube and then see how people feel. So earlier the explanation were little different in the kind of pointer, but now you can just see. Okay. So materiality is not factual, though it is perceived in emptiness. Do you know that quantum physics says that the matter doesn't exist? Have you heard latest last few years? Matter doesn't exist. Gurudev make fun of that thing that one of Gurudev's devotee is a renowned physicist. He says, Gurudev, I spent half of my life studying matter to come to know it doesn't exist. Have you heard him telling this thing? So matter doesn't actually exist. It comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes, but it goes so fast that it seems the real. And if you can you rub these things, your fingers? Okay. Do you feel something? Sensation, But the reality is two molecules never touch each other. Do you know that? That there is when the molecules come closer, there is a force of repulsion. So in reality, you never touch. There is no skin to skin touch. The real touch never happens. It just appears and the mind gives the idea. Have you heard about the phantom arms that you put and then somebody slams and then it seems, oh wow, I think look for the phantom arm video on YouTube. That will give you a little idea about how the mind creates the vision of this world and how mind make it so real even though it is not real. That is the opening to the greater reality because we rely so much on the five senses until unless you start listening to Yoga Vasistha, Astravakra Gita, and all that, it becomes very difficult to understand that how it is not so real. So question is, so mind is creating all physical pain, at least a lot. Okay. Sometimes you may actually get hurt, right? That is a real thing. But sometimes you see, you sit on Vajrasan. Okay. Some of you feel pain or not. And some of us don't feel pain, right? You are chasing Guruji. How many of you chase Guruji in Boon Ashram without shoes? That gravels. You don't feel gravels until you reach Kutir. And once he enters to the Kutir, and then you are coming back and you're doing tiptoe, tiptoe. How many of you have done? You have done, right? Monica, you have done it several times, right? Or not? Not yet. You should try that. So where is the pain?
I have, but I feel the gravel, I think, usually under.
Okay. Some of people don't feel. I don't feel. I just run. And once I reach there, once he's inside, then my feet started feeling, oh, gravel, gravel, gravel. Okay. But like, see, you are a mom, right? Many times when you are trying to serve your kids, like if they, God forbid, if they had fever when they were little, right? Whole night you will hold them in their arm and you will be awake whole night. Do you ever feel that kind of pain? And if you have to sit, and now if somebody asks you to do 15 minutes in the middle of the night, how will you feel, right? So a lot of this thing is correlated with the mind. I'm not saying 100% is only mental construct, but the degree of pain felt is very much mental concept. Some strong mind people, you see that people who work in military and all, they get caught. If you watch Durandar movie, they get caught and they are like ripped into different parts. They don't tell anything, right? There are people who go through immense pain, but they never tell anything, right? For us, how difficult it is. So absolutely, the degree of pain is function of the strength of mind and how mind perceive. But it doesn't mean that if hand is cut, that doesn't mean that you don't have to act upon that, right? So here, what it is trying to tell this phrase is that the solidity of the world, we should look in from a different angle. Don't just trust that it is so solid, so real. That's it. I'll leave it here, right? I'm not here to advocate for or against. It is just something tilting the vision. The mind is the world and world is the mind. When one is realized as not true, both of them vanish. Something to ponder about. If you trust your mind too much, everything seems real. You say you start mistrusting someone, all of a sudden you will see every action is difficult. Gurudev shared that don't see intention behind others' mistake. What is telling? Don't trust your mind all the time, because mind is seeing intention and you are trusting the intention, and all of a sudden that person become a villain, or what a lady villain, what you call, like the vamp. So all of a sudden, depending upon how you see, the world changes. So something is a very strong correlation with the quality of the mind and experience of this world. Okay. The mind is purified by persistent contemplation of truth. Persistence. It cannot be once a week, Ashtavakra Gita session or Yoga Vasistha session, Thursday 6 o'clock, world becomes unreal. 7 o'clock, world becomes real. Okay. It will help a little bit, but not thoroughly, right? It is a constant examination of the mind, Oh, I thought this is real, but this changed. I thought that person like this, that also changed. I thought pain is real, that also changed. I thought pleasure is permanent, that also changed. Constant contemplation of this changing phenomena. And that slowly brings a different angle and reality. Okay, it is my interpretation. Huh? And this is open for interpretation. You find your own truth. Okay. Then is that how did the succession of birth, etc., arise in the mind of Shukra? Now, question is, I have been working very hard, all the good karmas, married, charity. So my next birth should be a deluxe birth. Okay, I should be a platinum standard, good parents, take birth in America, in what place? Palo Alto family, a big house, and maybe better a venture capitalist, a billionaire, maybe Elon Musk 25th kid of Elon Musk kind of thing, right? A super deluxe services because I did lot of this thing because there is the idea of succession of birth, etc. One birth, rebirth, reincarnation. Now what Yoga Vasistha says is that Shukra has been taught by his father Bhrigu. Bhrigu was the one who created Nadi. Okay, so Shukra had been taught by his father Bhrigu concerning the succession of the birth, and this teaching had conditioned Shukra's mind, which conjured up the expansion of such conditioning. Only when the mind is totally purified of all conditioning does it regain its utter purity, and that pure mind experiences liberation. Okay. I will give a short gist is that all that whatever we are seeing is conditioning of mind is kind of a drama, a dream. Okay. So one conditioning, other conditioning always lead to the next episode in the drama, which could be rebirth and all that thing. But once someone understand, the jiva understand is that, oh, I am unchanging reality, all these are pictures coming and going. I was watching episode 1 of season 1, now I'm watching episode 2 of season 2. So these all births and rebirths are nothing but another dream in that my infinite consciousness or awareness, and then it ceases. Okay, the drama can continue and you will be exempt. Now, do not jump from a building or something and say, oh, it is a drama. Please don't do that. Okay. It is all about contemplation. It is like how conditioning of the mind leads to the birth, rebirth. So whether birth or rebirth is real or not, it's a very beautiful. It says that you are never born, never died. Have you heard about this? That Atman is never born, never died. This is where it is telling that birth and rebirth is just the conditioning of the mind. Mind starts believing I am X, Y, Z, and then the sequence of these dreams starts coming as form of physical body, because whatever infinite consciousness dreams, it feels a solid reality. The world is created in that, and the next version of world and body is created into that. But what is the unchanging reality? Something to ponder about, something to experience. This is what it tells. The diversity that is seen in this creation or Rama is just an appearance of diversity, self-explanatory. Evolution or involution has the one infinite consciousness as its source and as its goal. During evolution, there seems to be an apparent diversity in one's infinite consciousness in accordance with the notions that appear in that consciousness. So it is that rat thought about cat, next birth is cat. Cat thought about dog, became dog. Dog thought about human, became human. Human thought about a rich human, became rich human. Thought about poor person, became poor person. These are just the notions. It is like a different version of the dream. Something to deeply think about. Don't take it. I'm just like in a jet set speed right now. Some of these notions intermingle and that producing infinite variety in this diversity. Some do not thus intermingle, but in fact all these notions appear in every atom of existence, and these atoms exist independent of one another. The totality is known as the absolute Brahman. It is fractal. Have you seen fractal? Let me show that one. Ah, drawing time. Okay. Let me just do that for my files. 1 second. Yeah. Ah. I think if you have studied computer science, it will be very easy to understand what it is telling about diversity. Have you seen fractal programs? Anybody remembers? So this is the origin of something. You can see that, right? Screen. And then all of a sudden it divides into few parts. Let's say 5. Okay. Then each point gets divided into 5. This also get divided into, okay, 5, right? Then this point start dividing into 5, and so on, so forth. You see that? This is called fractal. Again, search for fractal video on YouTube. You will see a very beautiful animation. And so each of these continues. Okay. So each of this is infinite consciousness. Infinite is infinite. It has that ability to manifest. So somewhere out of ignorance, the first form starts, and that dreaming body start dreaming. Oh, I am 5, dreaming into 5. Each of that start dreaming. So we start creating this infinite world. This is what this is saying, reflection, something, and then what is happening is an appearance. So if it this all this thing is a dream, okay, imagine if all this thing is a dream, what is the reality is it is just appearance. It is just the appearance, that fractal. Okay. So something you need to see the fractal video, and then maybe it will hit that. Yeah. Then each individual sees only those objects which are rooted in his own mind. Do you see anything which is not rooted in your mind? I think last time we did that thing, right? Experiment, look inside the room. Did you see that? Did we do that with this batch or not? We did that, right? So you can do this again. Okay. Close your eyes. Okay. Now open your eyes and look into the room. See all the objects which are rectangular in shape. See all the objects which are rectangular in the shape. Take your time, keenly observe all the objects. It could be computer screen, laptop, your phone, all which are rectangular in the shape. Okay, now time up. Look up. How many of you seen things which are rectangular? At least one should be rectangular, right? At least one thing. Okay. Now tell me how many round objects you saw in your room. One round object. Anybody else saw any round object? There must be some round object or triangular object, right? Did you notice that? It's very easy to skip those. So what happens? What is illuminating the reality? It's not that objects are not there, right? Here, what get illuminated in your consciousness is the objects or impressions rooted in the mind at that given time. Otherwise, even if the house keys are in front of you, car keys are in front of you, not in front of you, your spouse, they do not register because the mind doesn't have that notion at that given point. Okay. So some of these things, now we had talked about this. The self of all living beings passes through. Okay, I'm reading something else. Okay, let me just share that one, the Kindle book. Okay. So the self of all living beings passes through 3 states: waking, dreaming, and deep state. They have nothing to do with the body. Even this is based on the assumptions of existence of living being in oneself, which is not the truth. The wise man goes beyond the deep sleep state, which is pure consciousness, returns to the source, but the fool who does not is caught up in the life cycle. I'm not saying anyone fool, okay? It is Yoga Vasistha. Let's read it again. The self of all living beings passes through 3 states, including all of us, right? waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. They have nothing to do with the body. Last session we talked about, right? Waker has waking body, dreamer has dreaming body, sleeper has no body. Okay, it has no sense of the body, right? So you already, all of us have three type of body: waking body, sleeping body, and no body. Even this is based on the assumption of existence of living being. So now it is correcting that this is a misconception that each one of us is a separate living being. Otherwise, there can be no one reality. So it is just adding a caveat in the this one. The wise man who goes beyond the deep sleep state, which is pure consciousness, returns to the source. But the fool who doesn't is caught up in the life cycle. Remember what is beyond these three things, which is sleeping, dreaming, the Turiya state, the fourth state, or beyond, or the one which keeps changing. So someone who goes beyond the deep sleep understand the reality. So something to ponder about. You have an easy instrument. We all transition through sleep, dream, waking. But what is always present? That is where the self inquiry comes into the picture. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And only in the waking state you can ask this question, who am I? In dream you may ask, but I don't know where it will lead. And in sleeping, if you are asking who am I, I'm pretty sure you are not asleep, right? So only in the waking state we can do this experiment. Who am I? Who am I? What goes into sleep? What goes into the dream? What is awake? Since the consciousness is infinite, one is led from one life cycle to another, even beyond the world cycle. Such creations are endless, one appearing within another like the bark of a plantain stem. Of course, it is unwise to compare Brahman, the absolute, with anything. It is telling even if the earth will be destroyed one day in another couple of billion years, the consciousness will continue because it is the world is created in the consciousness. The consciousness is not bound to the world. It seems contradictory, right? Have you ever thought that, oh, when sun goes away, 4 billion years approximately is the remaining life cycle of the sun. Before it becomes a red dwarf planet, it will consume all the planet. Earth will be consumed. Then what will happen to us? So the answer it gives is that the life cycle continued beyond the world cycle. Worlds may come and go. This Milky Way may come and go, but the consciousness, because these things appear in the consciousness. Consciousness doesn't take birth in the physical, material, apparent universe. Rather than world is the reflection in the consciousness. So that world appearance may dissolve, but the substrate is the consciousness. So it continues. So don't worry about the earth getting destroyed. Don't contribute to that. Anyway, we do it with polythene and everything. But the consciousness continues beyond this thing. So this is very beautiful. The Brahman is nameless and formless being. Okay, let's read this. When the self is seen as an object, the seer is not seen. As long as the objective universe is perceived, one does not realize the self. Are you looking for your own soul somewhere? Like Monica's last week sharing, my soul came out and intertwined with another person's soul who paid the same fee, didn't get a discount. We both were in same color because our registration tags were the same. We did eye gauging in that and this thing. So if you were watching this, then who was watching that soul? The question, right? I'm not picking on you, Monica. I'm just like taking the example because most of the assessing with all the due respect. So question is, if I was watching something outside as my soul, that means I am outside, right? Then soul becomes the object. You see that? With my eyes, I can see this hand. So that means I'm not my hand because I'm seeing from here, isn't it? So if I saw myself outside, it is definitely not me because I cannot see, right? Myself, eyes cannot see themselves. So something is that when the self is seen as an object, the seer is not seen. And as long as the objective universe is perceived, one does not realize the self because we are so engrossed into the apparent reality of the universe. So that closing the eyes, taking Sahaj Mantra, all of a sudden the world start dissolving. The idea of I start dissolving. Then I am remains. I am not X, I am not Y. I'm there, but I'm not there. That, in deep meditation, you are aware, but you are not aware. You are not aware of your body, but you are aware about I am. You are not aware about the room, but you are aware about I am. A reality which doesn't require a reflection from external objects come into the foreground. So something to see. Are you seeking yourself outside? Even the mental picture of my soul, my thing, it's seeing it outside. Then self cannot be object. Seer cannot be the scenery. You see that? Something. The seer cannot be the scenery. The last thing, right? It is only when the division between the seer and seen is given up. Only when the two are seen as one substance that the truth is realized. It is amazing. If anybody understands this, they can be in a perpetual meditation. It is only when the division between the seer and seen is given up. Only when the two are seen as one substance, that truth is realized. And that is what this second para of the prayer says. Jnata jnanam tatha neyam drashta darshana drashyabhu karta hetu kriya yasmad tasmai gyaptatmane namaha. Because there is nothing else. The world is reflected inside you. If you are not present, the object is not present. If you are not able to, your consciousness is not illuminating an object, it practically doesn't exist for you. Only when the senses coming to the mind, getting illuminated by consciousness is happening, then only that object exists for you. For others, it might be illuminated through their consciousness. So that object may exist for your spouse, but not for you. Because until unless the consciousness illuminates that object, it doesn't exist. Okay, let me just try to use my excellent drawing skills to share this one, right? The perspective. I don't know. It's a pretty interesting thing to understand. Okay. So what I understood is that, let's say there is some object here. You can see that, right? This object is seen by the eyes. Okay. This is illuminated somewhere in the mind. The picture. But something behind this, we cannot draw it, but just say conceptually, it's a consciousness. Okay. Until unless it illuminates the mind, it will not see this object. Even, you sometimes you drive from your office to home, you don't see any tree. How many times you have seen that you are in the parking lot of your office, next thing you know, you are in parking lot of your home. You don't remember any road, any green light, red light, right? So do you think they were there or not there? They were there or not there, there is no guarantee. They never got illumined by your consciousness. So they were never present for you. It might be possible a different mind through different eyes are watching the same thing and their consciousness is reflecting that, illuminating that. So from their perspective, it exists. So they will say, no, 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 there is a tree, there is a building. But for you, there was no building, no road, no tree. So what it is telling is the world is illumined by the consciousness. It actually arises in the consciousness. So what is happening is, this is a scene. This process here is seeing, and somewhere here is seer. Okay. But if seer is not present, the seeing and the scenery, there is no guarantee that existed. Other may be seeing, and that is why they tell, no, no, there was something. But for you, it doesn't exist. So basically, there is no distinction until unless the consciousness illumined a object, it actually doesn't register, it doesn't exist for you. So the whole process of seer, scenery, and scene, they are just one phenomena. You take one thing out, that thing is missing. You take the object out, it doesn't exist in your consciousness. You take the seeing, you close your eyes, the laptop is gone from your consciousness. You take your mind away, you just drift out, you zoned out listening to me, then this session doesn't exist. So these are not three distinct. They seem these are three distinct things. Your laptop is different. You seeing laptop is different. You are different, but they are a integrated phenomena. If you are not present, the laptop doesn't reflect. It doesn't get illumined. And when you start seeing this, a sudden shift happen. Do you understand? I think if you understand, it will be amazing. I mean, I hope all of us understand that thing. Okay. So coming back, where were we? It's a little fast because Monica asked for this. And let me go back to the book here. So you see the division. We see this is different. My seeing is different. I am different. But it is a very integrated phenomena because if you are not present, the seeing doesn't happen. The scenery doesn't exist. Something to see. And once you start seeing it from the integrated thing, it's very interesting because you are always, I wouldn't say that you can never be go out of the self because everything is within the self only. There is nothing outside of the self, but the attention get divided. Oh, I'm seeing this is the object and I am different. That becomes an integrated phenomena, and that shift makes it amazing. You are talking to some person because that person is object is that person, and your interaction is the seeing or process of experiencing, and it is reflecting inside where inside me. Then there is no difference between that person who is irritating and you because you understand or I understand. It is integrated. It is just the reflection of my being, my state of being. I think something to understand. I mean, I cannot put too much into the words, right? But read this thing is that how sight, seer, and seen are integrated phenomena. If seer is missing, your mind is missing, the seeing and sight doesn't exist. You take any one of these out, it is it will not arise and registered in the consciousness. So I'll just stop here. This is amazing. These few pages are truly amazing. Like read it few times. I think this is mind boggling, the part. So I'll pause here. Okay, let me stop here and let's hear from everyone. Does it make any sense? I think it is a purely very technical. This one, I don't know whether it
Prabhaji,
makes sense or not.
could you please repeat the part you were just saying when you're interacting with somebody?
Right.
Um, so you're interacting with that person, and I guess I'm missing the part about how. Hmm. So are you saying that the perceiving that person is happening within us and
Okay. Yeah, let's see this thing, right? Let's start with a simple thing. People are more complex. I think it is very difficult to accept that that person is part of me. Okay. Let's start with a simple object, right? There is a, let's say this is a book. Okay. And you are seeing this book. Your eyes are seeing this book. They are reflected in your mind. Let's say this is the mind which we were seeing, and this is illumined by your presence, awareness, right? I'll not draw anything. Let's say awareness, presence, consciousness, whatever you want to say, right? Have you ever seen is that sometimes eyes are open, many times you're looking at the laptop, all of a sudden nothing is registering. Have you ever experienced? I'm pretty
totally,
sure.
even in your example of reading a book, sometimes my eyes have run through lines and I haven't registered anything.
So what happened is that eyes were present, right? You were seeing. Book was present, but it doesn't reflect in your consciousness, isn't it? So that means in your example, awareness was missing. Yes. Now take
Yes.
that you were aware, okay, but you close your eyes, this process is seeing, right? If you close your eyes, can the book or the line can be reflected in you? Book will
Unless you've
be
done the
there.
intuition process, but no.
Yeah, but in intuition process, you are actually seeing, right? The physical eyes are not seeing, you are seeing something else, right? And if you have learned intuition process, teach all of us adults also. Okay. So in this process, if seeing is missing, the object will never get registered in your awareness. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
Now your eyes are open, awareness is there, but the object is missing. Will it reflect in your consciousness?
No.
No. So what is happening is this, all these three are integrated or not. For any experience to happen, these three things comes as a package, isn't it? If any
Yes.
of these things is missing, the package is incomplete, isn't it? And now Yoga Vasistha says that this book is nothing, it is you. Okay. It is your own fancy, right? What Yoga Vasistha is telling is this is your own fancy in your mind, isn't it? And senses are basically nothing but reflecting the your fancy in the mind. But where all this thing is getting reflected is in the consciousness, isn't it? Yoga Vasistha is reminding over and over and over and over again, right? So what is happening is this is not a separate reality than you, because your mind fancied there is a book, so be it, book came, right? And your mind or your awareness thought, oh, there is a process of seeing. That is how this process of seeing started happening. There are life form who do not have sight, who do not have ears, because they that form of consciousness did not fancy seeing, hearing, touching, right? One of the senses is missing, right? So whatever is this part fancied, that resulted into the process of experience, and that also says that you are creating that object. Yes or no? So it is nothing, it is an integrated phenomena. Now with book it is very easy. Now you replace it with your in-laws, your favorite in-laws, right? Now all of a sudden this knowledge completely falls apart, it is shattered. You will go and tear the book, like what nonsense, how come my in-law come out of me, where am I, where are those like creatures, god knows from what material the nature has created, right? Some of you are having a lot of fun, right? So then it becomes difficult. But if you see that this is what is fancy of the mind. The seeing is a fancy, the action is also a fancy of the consciousness. And all of these things is experienced or reflected in consciousness. Whose consciousness? Not Prabhat's consciousness, your own consciousness. So your in-laws are basically creation of you. You have chosen the person and in reality also. So what happens is that when you start seeing it as a integrated, you means any of us start seeing this whole thing as an integrated reality, that sight, seer and seen is a integrated phenomena. It is not a separate phenomena. Then we will stop blaming. You see that? Then accept people and situation as they are, happens spontaneously, because God is the creator of the situation, the reflection of fancy in our consciousness. Who is the creator of the person in front of us? Inception in our own consciousness. Then we start saying, I'm just dreaming. It is my own dream. Have you ever got up and slapped yourself that how come you saw a bad person in your dream? Did you ever slapped yourself? You say, okay, it was a bad dream. Have you seen the difficult character in your dream? I have my favorite dream. A teacher is snatching my examination notebook, right? But I never wake up and slap the teacher who was me in that my dream, right? So something to understand is that everything is a reflection. My mother-in-law is nothing but me only, right? I thought she is different, but it is my own creation. Okay, at one level. But don't go and tell her that, oh, my dear child, you are my creation. That life will be challenging. Does it make sense? Yeah. So I'll stop sharing. So
Can I,
the what?
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like the mother-in-law example, so she's your creation, or are you forced to perceive her because she exists?
I did not force you to do anything. Just for a legal disclaimer. Okay. This
Hypothetical
whole
mother-in-law.
Now, my mother-in-law is very sweet. For the records, it is getting recorded. Okay. So what is that? What Yoga Vasistha says, that whatever you are experiencing is the fancy of one consciousness, right? That consciousness fancied, I have this body of a Prabhat or Monica or something, right? Then that consciousness fancied, I am in United States and like this and that. And then that a four-dimensional dream started of three-dimensional space and the time integrated, right? And in that four-dimensional dream, so many characters arose and fall. Now, there is a slight error is that we assumed it is separate. These are real. So then there is an object, you are experiencing object, you are separate, and then what happens? There is a pain involved in all this. Now you start seeing integrated, oh, this is my fancy only. Will you see a shift there? Oh, the person in front of me is no different from me. Just like I dream, in my dream there are 20 characters, right? I don't fight with those characters. Okay, they are me. Once I wake up, they all collapse into one reality. Similarly, in the real form, maybe we'll wake up and then we realize, I'm still dreaming. There are lucid dreaming, what I think Sam keeps talking about lucid dreaming. Oh, it was a lucid dreaming. All these different characters are part of my lucid dreaming. So there is something you cannot like justify intellectually. You have to feel it. Oh, it's part of me. Like Gurudev says, right? Everything is part of me, right? It is one reality, which is purely Advaita Vedanta, like one consciousness. Everything is reflection of me inside me, me perceiving me. Okay, I'm talking like Nityananda. There is a very interesting video. Search for that if you have seen that. Does it make sense? Okay. Any
I
question?
actually have seen that video. So, Prabhaji, you're using the word fancy. So I don't know what that means. So is
Imagination.
or perception, is that the same thing? That my mind is perceiving this? So now,
So I would say imagination, right? Because perceiving is like grammatically, it seems that perceiving means it is more towards real, but dreaming is more towards fancy, a fantasy in your mind, right?
okay,
Does it make sense? If it makes sense, then you miss the point. If it doesn't make sense, you got it.
I've definitely got it. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Okay, Aarti got it that her mother-in-law is her own creation, so she need not to be scaring her or be scared of her. Okay, good. Okay, our awareness is focusing on whatever that what we are aware or notice. It is reality then. See me, everything is your awareness only. Okay, you are not focusing or you are not focusing. It's a very spontaneous process. How many of you focus on anything? Even focusing is an illusion. If everything is you, it is a virtual reality. Have you seen those VR headset? You move here, focus is different. Move there, focus is different. But where is all that thing is here only, isn't it? So just think that, okay, where is your focusing? You are just moving here and there, but everything is where? Here. So there is nothing outside from the Yoga Vasistha perspective. There is nothing exists outside of you or absolute consciousness. And everything is real, everything is unreal. It says that Sarparajju in the Vedanta, the rope appearing as a snake. It's just appearance. There is no real transformation. There is no reality in the snake in the rope. It's just the appearance. It just seems so real. Naveen is saying, isn't both me and others are nothing but appearance in the same consciousness instead of others appearing in my consciousness? I don't know. You figure it out. Yes and no, no and yes, Naveen. Okay. So you can take theorem, you can take corollary. Both are the same. Okay. Because if you agree with Vedanta, there is no two.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comment? Lot of talking today. Actually, I ran from office. I barely made it for the session. So I'm still in my corporate energy, speaking too much and all that thing. My apologies for that. I didn't understand the concept of the fractal. Is it possible to give an example? Okay, let's go to fractal. Hmm. Okay, let me find fractal video. Yeah, Roberta, just give me a second if I'm lucky enough to find a good thing, and then you can see that one. 1 second. Okay, fractal shape animation. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, let me just see. Uh, I'm just trying to find this so that you can fully understand what I meant. I think I found.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Okay, I'm trying to share it. Okay, let's see if it makes sense. What is fractal? What does fractal mean? Okay, Robert, show me thumbs up if you are able to see this one, right? Okay. Okay. So this is the first unit. Let's assume, right? This is the first unit. Then what happens? You see that within one unit, the same is replicated again and again and again and again and again and again. You see that? So it is one, but you keep looking, it is multiple. Is it one or multiple? Okay. Let's take a different video. Let's see. Does it make sense? When Yoga Vasistha says there are worlds inside an atom, and there are atoms inside the world, and the world inside an atom, right? It is, you are seeing one screen. How many objects you saw? You keep watching more and more and more. But what is creating this idea that there are so many diversity? It's just our awareness, the process of that notion, isn't it? So is it one or it is multiple? Is it diverse or it is unified? Make sense? So world sometime is a fractal, or fractal is kind of world. I mean, this is my interpretation. I'm just trying to bring a parallelism analogy. It may or may not be totally correct, but you can see that, right? One, you go deeper, looking, it expands. But it was the same thing. Then you focus on a one more little thing, it expands. it expands. So just like we are seeing this universe, but you start seeing an atom. Inside atom, if you place more attention, if you can see with electron microscope, there is so much of space inside. Then there will be a particle, you go inside that particle, again there is so much of space. But what is perceiving, the space may or may not be there, but what where the space is reflecting is inside our awareness. I don't know whether you are grasping it or not. Okay, if you're not grasping, very good, you got it. Otherwise, anyway, you got it. Okay, good. Any other question, Naveen? You want to share any of your perspective?
No, for today it looks okay. We have one more class. I was thinking what else to do.
You can find the beginning of fractal, Naveen.
Yeah, I've seen this fractal thing before too. It's like we can zoom in how much ever we want, zoom out how much ever we want. It's an infinite series.
Yes. So yeah, so what is there is there is another video I used to sometimes show in the previous one. I don't know whether I have it or not. Okay. Let's see if I can find that one. Uh,
What this is all making me wonder, Prabhaji, is that with our awareness, we, in our day-to-day living, we're barely scratching the surface with our awareness. That's what it feels like to me.
I would see reverse that why you are scratching the surface, you are the entire ocean. Your mind is scratching the surface, but you are the ocean. Mhm. And it is a fractal. You will never find the end of the fractal, right? How much you can examine the fractals? One, two, three, four. It has infinite depth. The more you observe, there is more to observe. Like Gurudev says that right. When you know something, you know I don't know anything, right? So it is that infinite loop.
Mm.
But knowing that all that thing is nothing but me only, right? That is the point. Otherwise, you are going outward, jumping into the fractal. You come river. The fractal starts in me, ends in me. It just a appearance that fractal or the world is away from me. That is where the transformation happens. Otherwise, we are trying to find the beginning or end of the fractal.
Do you mind going back for a second to the Vedanta topic that was brought up about there's no two, right?
Hmm.
So if the consciousness from which all of this came
Hmm.
is nothing but that, and we are nothing but that. So the big consciousness dreamed us, and we think we are dreaming. But it's really the big consciousness that's dreaming us. If
I would,
there cannot be two.
okay, you are going to use forcing me to do my amazing drawing skills. Okay, okay. Let me try what I understood. Okay, I may be right, I may be wrong. Find your own truth. Okay, let me try to. This is very interesting question. Okay,
Prabhaji's drawings are getting
uh,
professional.
come again.
Professional drawings are coming from you, Prabhaji.
Yes. I think now I understand why Gurudev make us to draw like a child in silence course. It helps in the yoga Vasistha session. Okay. So let's say this is what Vicky is saying, the big consciousness. Okay. Then there is a small consciousness called Vicky. You can see that Vicky, right? Okay.
Yes.
Then Vicky is saying, oh, all these we are the small consciousness, but the big consciousness is dreaming these small consciousness, and the small consciousness is thinking we are dreaming this and that. Okay. Now it is a view. Okay. From this view, from here, if you see, okay, what you will see, all the diversity,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But if you see from this view, what are you going to see is, let's say, a different example. From aeroplane, when you see, do you see the millions of people in a city when you are about to land? You
No.
just see few houses, right? So that diversity is compressed, isn't it? But from when you are on the road, how many things you see? So
What's
many, right?
that?
Yeah. So it depends from which perspective you are seeing. Is that from the small mind perspective, you place yourself here, and then there are so many diversities, right? But when you know, oh, I am this, in my dream, I am dreaming all these things, then it dissolves or not, right? So there is no big, no it is small. This big is thinking there are so many small in me, and this small is thinking there is something big which is thinking so many small realities. But it depends from where you are seeing. Does it make any sense to any one of you? Or I am only the mad scientist here?
Okay, go back to the airplane thing.
Okay, let's go to the aeroplane coming soon. Okay, so this is your aeroplane.
Hmm.
Okay, don't bomb anyone. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, this is your aeroplane, right? There are so many houses here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in these houses, how many people are there, right? Let's say these are skyscraper building in San Francisco. Each building has few hundred people, right?
Mm-hmm.
From these buildings, this one, when you see how much diversity you will see. But when you are sitting here, you see, what do you see?
Right.
Unity, right?
Yeah.
So it is the perspective. Okay, not you are dreaming, right? You are here dreaming and you see so many characters inside this, right? So you see, oh, in my dream there are so many characters, but they are all me, right? Screen sharing is stopped. Okay, let's take it start again. I said, I mean, this cannot be explained uh, more logically. It is just a pointer to something to ponder about inside. That's correct. Let's see. So when this is I am,
You're
as
still
a,
not sharing.
oh, it is still not showing. Sorry about
That's
that. Okay, let's see this one. You see
okay.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see this, this is I am, like I am dreaming and I am dreaming diversity, right? So you see so many things in that, right? But inside your dream, if you this is small part of the awareness or reflection of awareness starts saying, oh, there are so many of these are there, and the book is saying somebody is dreaming. So that means I am different from this big bubble. Okay, that is a big consciousness which is dreaming us a small consciousness. But from the top view, if you see, oh, I am dreaming and inside me so many things are happening, right? So it is the from what vantage point you perceive the world. From this vantage point, everything is inside you. There is no other big mind because you are the big. From this vantage point, there are so many small minds, and since there is a book called Yoga Vasistha, and other Vedantic book, that means there has to be one big consciousness. Now, the big consciousness of this is also this. Big consciousness of this is also this. Okay. So
What
if you,
what are you drawing? The big consciousness, the big circle is also the little circles. Is that what you're saying?
all the little circles are appearance in this big circle, right?
Uh-huh.
And if this little circle says that, oh, there has to be one big circle, but is that little circle and big circle are different? It is just the vantage point from where you see. When you see I am a small me, that means there has to be something huge. Of course, you will see the diversity and something huge. But when you see, oh, this all the world is my own dream. Okay, so be it. There are reflections, the smaller reflections, but they are no different from me. Then it is you are the big mind. Okay, so this is something to ponder about.
So you are the big mind because you are dreaming the consciousness?
I
No, you are the big mind, you just said. When are you the big mind?
all the time,
Because it's nothing but the big mind.
of course.
So, okay, but
In dreaming, when you are dreaming,
yeah,
when you are the dreamer and when you are character in the dream, all the time, isn't it? All the time you are dreamer and all the time you are different characters in the dream.
yes.
It is all the time. It is never a transition. It is a apparent reality. The one appearing as multiple is just a apparent reality. All the time one is multiple and multiple is one. Does it make sense? Which time in your dream you are different from the dreamer, and which point in your dream all the objects seen in the dream are different from you.
It's not.
All the time it is the same. It is just the vantage point from where it is experiencing, and you can switch. When you are doing lucid dreaming, I just wish Sam was here. You will see, oh, I am the only one. In lucid dreaming, oh, let me imagine about this, let me imagine about that. And all those keep coming inside, right? Because there is awareness involved in the lucid dreaming, a certain degree of awareness involved. But when the awareness is not there, then the unity becomes diversity. This is something to go deep into that, right? Otherwise, it will become an intellectual thing. I'm just giving you what time in your dream you are not dreamer, and what time in your dream the characters in the dream are different from you.
Okay, that's the example you're using is the dream of Vicky.
Yeah.
And so, but originally it was the conscious dreaming Vicky.
Okay.
So that's like getting, okay, Vicky dreams the dream. It's all Vicky dreaming the characters. The dream isn't there unless it's Vicky doing it. But if the big consciousness that dreamed all of us,
Go ahead. Then
it's like how to marry those two. Because if the world is only what we are dreaming, right? It's only what we are seeing it to be. But I keep getting this impression of the big consciousness, like here dreaming Vicky, and Vicky's going through the dream, but really it's only the big consciousness that's creating the dream called Vicky. But then there's Vicky dreaming.
something to ponder about that, right?
I know.
Yeah, in your dream, one day it will be like this. In your dream, you may be dreaming something. Let's say Nancy. Nancy, Fancy, and three more characters you are dreaming in your dream, right? Then Nancy is talking to Fancy. Okay.
Mm.
Nancy and Fancy, are they two different or they are Vicky?
They're all Vicky.
And then Nancy tells Fancy that, okay, you know, there is a big consciousness dreaming all of us. Okay. Then the big consciousness of Vicky is different from Nancy and Fancy, or it is the same?
It's all the same.
Right. So which part of the dream Nancy, Fancy are different from Vicky? And
None.
which part of the dream Vicky is different from Nancy and Fancy?
None.
None. So that is what is that? Where is that big conscious which is dreaming Vicky? You are Nancy and Fancy. Replace Vicky with Nancy and Fancy. Is it difficult?
No, not that part of it, but that's Vicky being the dreamer. But if Vicky is being dreamed,
So you are taking yourself too seriously. You don't want to accept that I am a fiction of something else, right? That is the big problem. You think that Vicky is real, so nobody else can dream Vicky. That is that may be the obstacle. But
wait, say that again, say that again.
you maybe the obstacle is that the mind doesn't want to agree that Vicky is figment of somebody's dream.
No, I'm not, that's not where I'm stuck. I'm stuck with this fractaling,
No,
right?
don't worry about
No, not
yeah.
that.
Mm.
If Vicky is nothing but a dream of the consciousness and then Vicky's dreaming, it's that fractaling thing.
Yeah, because
Vicky being dreamed, Vicky dreaming more, da 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 da, right?
yeah,
So the big consciousness that's dreaming Vicky and everybody else is
the same as Vicky, because it is just one big dream.
ah okay.
Just one big dream. You saw the fractal on my laptop, right?
Yeah,
Your laptop, right?
yeah.
Is your laptop one laptop or n number of laptop? It's just the
It's
one laptop. Inside that, so many fractals appear and gone.
right.
The same thing is that inside that big consciousness, Vicky, Nancy, Fancy, they all came and went, and everything thought they are real. The Vicky thought it is real, the Nancy thought Nancy is real, the Fancy thought Fancy is real. They both talk about a other level of reality where they both are unreal or something else is real, right? So, but what is real is the one screen. Okay. So this is like intellectually it will be difficult because it is a
Yeah.
linear thinking, right? But you see that the simple formula is which part of the dream the dreamer is different from the object of dream, and which part of the dream object in the dream are different from dreamer. Think about that. And if they are always the one, the difference is just the apparent reality.
I think it's easy to, if it's all a dream, all of it, that means the consciousness is also a dream.
Consciousness is dreaming. You cannot say the dreamer. Nancy and Fancy cannot tell, oh, Vicky is also a dream.
Oh, okay.
You see that?
Consciousness
Now Vicky, Nancy and Fancy are telling that, oh, we both are part of the dream. That means Vicky is also dream, right?
so
That may or may not be real.
consciousness is dreaming us and we are the dream.
I cannot confirm nor deny. That is your quest. So next week, all of you analyze your dreams, right? What is real? What is dream? And then next week, I am not in the town. Then we'll conclude the Yoga Vasistha chapter 4 as the last session week after next Thursday. Okay? Thursday after the next Thursday. Until that, keep questioning who is dreaming what? What is appearing in what? Is Vicky real or Nancy and Fancy real? Or vice versa? And then we will see. Does it make sense? But that can only happen once we stop taking ourselves so seriously. If we start taking our current appearance as the solid reality, then we will get stuck. Okay? Then deep meditation, sahas samadhi. Okay, then sit, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That may help or may not help. I don't know. Good. Okay. So
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. Yeah, Naveen, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I was trying to think on the same analogy that Vicky has brought it up. Because you showed fractals, now I'm thinking is there only one big consciousness, or can that be also be dream, like a reverse fractal? If you zoom out, you will see probably that also is a dream. And if you zoom in, just like that. So it can go both ways. It's possible, but
You know what is the problem? The thinking is the problem. You know that, right? The mind is thinking, right? And thinking creates the world or appearance of the world. So the reality is beyond thinking.
Yeah.
So intellect is finite. In the finite, we are trying to fit infinite. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
So
happy with the other explanation that you gave before. That was enough for me, which was like we are all characters on a screen. Okay, all that Nancy fancy are characters on a screen. Both everybody is consciousness, but the only reality is the screen there.
yeah.
Nothing else is there. That example stick with me, and that's
Whatever works for you, one is good enough, because so many stories in Yoga Vasistha is meant for this only, that whatever hits you, right? And there is no logical explanation. Logic is also part of the dream. So keep dreaming.
Let's
Okay.
compare notes tomorrow. I think we're all going to dream of Nancy and Fancy tonight.
Compare your notes in the dream. So somebody asked Gurudev this question. Gurudev, you come in my dream. Is it real or I'm dreaming? And Gurudev told that I will tell you in the dream. It's so witty, right? It's so cute and so witty. Okay. So I don't know whether it was helpful or not, because once you go beyond the realm of thinking mind, it just seems so natural, so real. There is no confusion about that. But when we start seeing from the eyes of intellect, it becomes everything is so confusing, right? So I think someday that will happen. We cannot force it. Hmm? Until that, Nancy, Fancy, and Vicky are your best friends. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I need to go and pack. Take care.
Thank you so
Jai
much.
Gurudev.
Thank you,
Jai Gurudev.
Prabhat.
Yeah, bye bye.